Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fantasy Football Fix YouTube channel. My name's FPL Phillips and I'm delighted to be bringing you the first episode of Eddie versus the Algorithm in 2025, where once again we'll be taking a look at both the computer generated team and my own team that is predicted to score the highest amount of points for this game week. If you're new around here, then do consider subscribing to the channel if you'd like to follow along with this series over the course of the season. So far, we've had 15 weeks and it's 8-7 from the game weeks we've done so far, so it's very, very tight. The algorithm is just ahead after my victory in the last game week that we did. We have had a few game weeks off, but I'm back. I'm feeling fresh, ready to get into it and to beat a computer at FPL and prove once more that humans are superior. So with all that being said and done, let's get into it and have a look, as usual, firstly, at the algorithm team for the upcoming game week. So as mentioned, updated score at the bottom of your screen. It is now 7-8 in favour of the algorithm. And speaking of that algorithm, it is predicted 63 points for this upcoming game week 21 with the following side. In goal is going to be Verbruggen of Brighton, who go up against Ipswich this week. Not the easiest away fixture in the league, but as far as clean sheet potential goes this week, I think this is a pretty decent shout. I mean, you'll see in my team in a minute. I've also gone for the same goalkeeper pick, in fact. So I quite like it as a pick for this game week. I think that Brighton as a whole are looking like a very, very decent side indeed. Away game is never really ideal, but out the fixtures that we've got on offer this week, you've got a North London derby in there. You've got Liverpool with a tricky away fixture to Nottingham Forest. Some of the best defences for underlying numbers don't have the strongest fixture. So for me, this looked like a very decent shout indeed. In goal, in defence I should say rather, we've got a double up on the Manchester United backline. Now this is where I'm questioning it a little bit, in fact. Manchester United have been a team very much out of form under Ruben Amorim. I think the last two results against Arsenal, it wasn't even in the league, that was in the cup, and then that 2-2 draw at Anfield, and maybe skewing everyone to think that, Ruben Amorim's going to be some kind of messiah and bring this group of players back to play really well. And they have got one of the nicest fixtures this week, being said, with Southampton at home, who are, second for expected goals. I think only Everton are a poorer attack in terms of XG numbers. So it doesn't look bad there for a clean sheet. Now, Mazraoui is obviously going to start. I think there's even more solidarity with that, given that Dallow's going to be out suspended after his red card in the FA Cup. So Martinez and Mazraoui will both start, there's no doubt about that. Mazraoui has a limited amount of attacking threat as well. Martinez picked up that goal, of course, in the game against Liverpool, as it has been getting into a few advanced positions. I personally just think that United might actually concede in this one. I'm not 100% confident, but when you've got a fixture like that on paper with a team who maybe are starting to find some form, they've actually had a few training sessions with their new manager, now that the fixtures are becoming less congested, I don't hate it by any stretch of the imagination. So there might not be too much of an attacking return chance in there, but, United could come away with a clean sheet in that one if Onana can pull off the same kind of levels of goalkeeping performance that we were seeing from the second choice keeper in the cup. And then it's Munoz as the third defensive option, one who I think is a player who was talked about quite a few game weeks ago now, very much hyped as a good pick, and for good reason. He's been getting into some very, very advanced positions, could have picked up more attacking returns than he has ended up doing, and maybe this away trip to Ruud van Nistelrooy's Leicester could be an opportunity to do that. I think Ruud will probably manage a team in a very attacking sense. We've seen that already so far with what he's done, and so I think Leicester will concede goals. They've already been conceding goals, and to be honest, I like this pick as one for this game week. They conceded, 2-1 loss to Villa last time out. I think Palace are in some decent form, and Munoz and the rest of the Palace side can go there and definitely get a result. So, some of those runs around the back post, would like to see it this week from Munoz, the algorithm is saying with that one. Into midfield then, we've got Mohamed Salah and Cole Palmer in here, so very much the usual suspects these times. Interesting to see Cole Palmer taking the captain's armband. We'll have a bit of the comparison between him and some of the other popular picks later on, just before we wrap up the video. But Palmer takes the captain's armband for Chelsea as they host Bournemouth, with Salah going away to Nottingham Forest, a team very much in good form this season. Eze as well is a player who's back and has been firing lately, picking up a few attacking returns in the last two game weeks, so looking pretty decent value. A lot of people who brought in Ismail Sarr will be worrying that maybe they should have gone for Eze a little bit more expensive, but does seem to be still that talisman in the Palace team. And then Anthony Gordon, a man who's been picking up a hell of a lot of attacking returns over the last 6 or 7 game weeks now. He's been fantastic, and Newcastle have some very, very good underlying numbers, and they're at home once again this week as they host Wolverhampton Wanderers. So a very, very nice fixture there. I like the Gordon pick a lot. If you got him, dare I say it, maybe even a captaincy shout this game week. But it's going to be tough when you've got his teammate Alexander Isak up front, who is also, unsurprisingly, in this team. He lines up in the front three alongside Raul Jimenez and then also Erling Haaland, who takes up a fair amount of your budget when you're playing this series, or if you're just playing FPL in total. But people might have to be considering, if anything, last week is anything to go on, maybe even making a move to bring in the Norwegian once again. I think it would make this season interesting if Haaland did start firing a bit more. Brentford away is certainly another opportunity to do that. Can Manchester City build on that result from last week and somehow crawl their way back into a title race that is seeming less and less competitive as we go with these game weeks? Now, Jimenez picked up 2 penalty goals last week. There has been minutes concerns with him, don't get me wrong. It's going to be interesting to see how West Ham perform now in that fixture. And, you know, Fulham going away there, I think we could see a result from West Ham. I'm not sure we'll see one of these batterings. You know, it was 5-0 at Liverpool, against Liverpool a few weeks back. I think that might be a bit more of a competitive game. I could see a 1-1 or something like that. And we know that Muniz from the bench is going to come on at some point in pretty much every game with Raul's age. But I still do like him as a shout for this game week. And obviously, a very, very budget-friendly option at the moment if you're looking for a forward replacement for someone like a Gabriel Jesus if you went there. And then on the bench, finally, we've got Mikalenko, we've got Greaves, and we've got Chowdhury. So another player from a team with a new manager in the form of Mikalenko. It's going to be interesting to see how David Moyes does back at his, of course, previous club. So it's getting exciting in football at the moment. I'm loving these midweek game weeks when they do come around. The winter period is great for football, as we know. Teams and games are coming thick and fast. Let's see how my team is looking as I put it together. And yeah, what team can I go for to go up against the algorithm's 63 predicted points? Well, my side is predicted 59 points, and all in all, doesn't look that dissimilar. Of course, I did make this before I even had a look at the algorithm team, but the defence has 3 of that same back 4. I haven't gone for a double up. I do have Martinez actually down on the bench, but Lewis Hall is the option that I've gone for. I did just want that third Newcastle player, and I think this is a great fixture for them. Lewis Hall has been fantastic getting down that left-hand flank for them. He's looked very, very comfortable in that position, has really, really made it his own in that Newcastle side. Putting in some fantastic crosses, some of the best I've seen from fullbacks in the league this year. And yeah, could have even had more attacking returns if there weren't a few chances that had gone amiss in certain games. So yeah, Lewis Hall, I think the standout pick of the Newcastle backline by far, offers still some pretty good value as well if you're looking for a defender. But yeah, this game against Wolves is certainly the highlight of the next upcoming fixtures. Now, in midfield and up front, I've gone very, very rogue. I've put my captain's armband on Jean-Philippe Mateta. I do still think Crystal Palace will do well in this game away at Leicester, as I said, but I've not gone for Eze and I've not gone for a different Palace asset. I wanted my midfield the way it is, and I've gone with Mateta up front, who's taken the captain's armband. So yeah, very, very rogue one. He's not even in the captaincy comparison. It's very much a gut feeling on this one. Just a fun punt as well, just because this series, not taking it overly seriously, and I thought it would be exciting to go with a bit of an out there, a differential captain for this week. I have still got Palmer and Salah, some of the more popular candidates for taking the captain's armband. Bruno Fernandes in my midfield, who I think will find some decent form over the next few game weeks. And then Brian Mbeumo as well, who I think, you know, people often write off players against Manchester City straight away. The colours often look a bit scary on the FPL fixture ticker. I still think that Brentford will get a goal or 2 in this game against Manchester City. And yeah, I don't feel unconfident with Mbeumo in this team, and I've even put the vice-captain's armband on him as well. I have got Raul on the bench. I've got Van Hecker at Brighton as well. But yeah, all in all, the team doesn't look that far off, but I'm confident in the changes that I've made and the differences I have in my team to get one over on the algorithm this week and hopefully make it 8-8 and equalise finally. That's before we finish up the video. Let's have a look at the captaincy and the popular assets for this week and who to go for. Sorry for the tripping over my words. You can tell it's been a while since I last made a YouTube video, but I'm very happy to be back. We've got Mo Salah, Palmer and Isak as the three options for this game week, who I think are in a lot of teams at the moment, as is evident by their ownership numbers, the lowest being Isak at 54% overall ownership. And the fixture is certainly with the man from Newcastle, 1.66 expected goals conceded per 94 Wolves so far this year, makes them the weakest of the back threes. Nottingham Forest have looked an impressive defence, as evidenced by that 1.18 figure, making them the strongest of the three. But when you do look into the statistics, it's no doubt that Mo Salah is once again proving himself to be the FPL king. So 2.57 XG for Liverpool looks very healthy indeed, and 10.06 expected FPL points per 90 looks very nice as well. All three of them are on penalties, all three very much the focus of FPL points in their sides really. So yeah, it's a tough call between the three of them. Predicted points going in favour of Palmer by such a significant margin does surprise me a little bit. 6.7 is quite far ahead of Salah on 5.9, and you know, quite a big points gap, that 1.6 points higher than Isak in predictions. I'd maybe even consider having Isak as my second choice captain. I'd be between him and Salah, to be honest, and then Palmer in my third slot. But maybe that's a controversial take. Leave your thoughts down below in the comments if you think I'm missing something with Cole Palmer there. I do think it's a good fixture for Chelsea. They've got it at home as well. Bournemouth have conceded goals lately, but they've been a side that have been difficult to beat, and in certain games, if they turn up, they can make it very difficult. So for me, I think Palmer would be my last pick of the bunch, and I'd maybe even consider going for a cheeky Isak punt this week. Let me know what you guys think. As mentioned, let me know who you think's going to win out of myself and the algorithm for this game week. And yeah, I'll see you in not too long, given that the game weeks are coming thick and fast, but I'll wish you the best of luck for this one. May your arrow be green, and I'll see you in a future video. Goodbye.